So last night we were streaming and some pure degeneracy took place in the form of a debate. Although some might struggle to call it that, it was the great gambling debate between Ethan Klein, Trainwrecks, and Hassan and xQc. Basically, these four guys got together. Initially, it was a debate between Ethan Klein and xQc, but then Train got added, and then Hassan got added. And the topic at hand was gambling. Now, I was live yesterday, as I'm live every day on this YouTube channel, and we were watching the thing. We watched it for about 4 hours. In fact, I'll have a link to the VOD so you can see my full reaction to it. I've got a couple clips here we'll be taking a look at because, you know, I'm basically just taking the debate and just giving you the guys the most interesting parts of it because I think the conversation is pretty interesting. I actually liked the debate. I know people thought it was a clusterfuck. Some people thought it was boring. I actually thought it was very interesting. So we're going to be taking a look at that basically, but just to give you guys an idea of what's going on here, xQc, who is the biggest Twitch streamer, and Trainwrecks, who is a big Twitch streamer, who's also the host of the Scuffed podcast, lately they've been doing sponsored gambling streams, where basically gambling websites will reach out to these guys, offer them a little bit of money, and then they go on stream and they gamble on stream for these sites. And I would assume they have referral codes for the websites. And basically they've been under fire for promoting gambling to kids. And also the websites themselves have been under fire for being potentially pretty sketchy. So those are the two main points that Ethan laid out. We'll of course take a look at the clips here. Just to give you guys some context though, xQc has already quit doing gambling streams because he got addicted basically. So once his sponsorship ran out, he decided to pack it up because he got too addicted. And Trainwrecks is already an addict right here. Hassan even called him out for this recently before even entering the debate. Trainwrecks is open though. He's mask off about it. He's like, yeah, I'm a degenerate. I have a gambling addiction. I've been gambling for the past 5 years of my life. I'm completely addicted. I've lost so much money. We'll get into more of that conversation though. That's basically just to give you guys an idea of who we're up against. So we got Ethan Klein here, who's, playing the moral police. He's basically being like, this is wrong, this is bad, this needs to stop, you guys need to take accountability. And you've got two people, one who's an addict, I guess a recovered addict, and the other who's currently an addict and has been for quite a while, even before the sponsorship started. So just to give you an idea, let's start this clip right here. Oops, hold on. If I can get the audio to get loaded there. Okay, now we're good.
Wow, you agreed that these people are going to run away with all this crypto someday in the near future. How is that not a scam?
Okay, no, what part is a scam? The winnings, like which part?
The part of the scam is that
this is where Ethan lays out his case.
They're taking people's money. They are potentially screwing with the numbers, with the payouts. And they're going to run away with all the money. I mean, that is a scam. There is deception. Again, this is all conjecture, but the fact is that they're doing this via crypto. They're not verifying people's IDs. They're promoting it on Twitch, which any reasonable, ethical, well-regulated gambling company wouldn't do for all the reasons I listed. So do I know it's a scam? No, but obviously how can I know that? But my hunch on this and my reporting, which is but they are all of my reporting is very editorial. So, in my opinion, it is a scam.
Okay. Lot to take in from there. First of all, Ethan's criticisms of these gambling websites, and I'm not entirely sure which website he's criticizing in that specific statement, or if he's just criticizing them all together in a very general sense, but his criticisms there aren't bad. Actually, they're very, they seem to be well-founded criticisms of these websites. They are unregulated. They do use crypto, which is difficult to track, although not impossible, given the Save the Kids scam. But, they do seem kind of sketchy in the way they operate. There is valid criticisms of these websites. And if Ethan Klein presented it as a case of hey, guys, I know you're taking these sponsors, maybe look into who you're taking sponsors from, because some of these websites are a little bit shady. If he worded it like that, he would have probably won. It wouldn't even been a debate. It would have just been hey, I think some of these websites are a little bit shady. I haven't fully reached that conclusion yet. I'm still doing more research, but based on the little bit of research I've done so far, they seem to be a little bit AIDS. So you might want to be a little bit careful. If he had worded it like that, he would have just won. It wouldn't even been a debate. It would have just been Ethan saying, hey, be careful, watch out. This looks a little bit shady. But instead, Ethan words it like, we know 100% that these websites are scams and you guys are actually in the wrong for taking the sponsorship right now. He literally says later on that Trainwrecks himself needs to take accountability. For what exactly? Hold on now. We skipped a step here, all right? Ethan skipped the step of verifying the information, and later on he even admits, I'm going to have to look more into it. Okay, so Ethan's got a case here that seems to be pretty strong, pretty well-founded, but he hasn't made sure of that yet, and he's immediately jumping to, okay, I know it's a scam now because it looks sketchy, so you guys are fucked, basically. And that's why xQc and Trainwrecks are mad, because they're like, well, hold on now. How do you know it's a scam? Now, here's where I come into the conversation, all right? It looks bad, all right? It does look sketchy. I wouldn't take the sponsorship. Depends on how much money, actually. Fuck it. You know what? Actually, if I was getting paid $1 million, you know what? Actually... Okay, anyway, but you get the point, all right? It's a little bit sketchy, okay? But Ethan needs to chill here for a second because he's thrown away his case, because he's immediately jumping to accusing them of something that he doesn't know that they've done yet. He even says later on he doesn't know if xQc is knowingly taking part of a scam. He just thinks that xQc might have been duped into getting scammed by some of these companies. He basically says that maybe xQc got a sponsorship from one of these gambling companies and they're upping his odds so that xQc is streaming and he's winning a bunch because they're juicing his odds. So it presents like this fake image of what gambling is to the people that are watching. They think, oh, gambling's really easy. Look at xQc, he's winning all the time. So therefore, if I start gambling, I'm going to win all the time and I'm going to make hella money. When that's not at all what gambling is about. I've seen some people make that argument too, that some of the odds that these Twitch streamers are competing at seems to be a little bit sketchy. It's almost like Dream-like odds, like Dream when he plays Minecraft and he gets all the blaze rods, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't seem to be possible. So that's the argument there, but then Ethan Klein immediately is pushed into a corner where he's like, oh, well, that's my editorial opinion. You see, when I make statements as fact, that's actually my opinion there. He literally says that. I'll back it up 10 seconds.
In my reporting, which is
no, but they are,
all of my reporting is very editorial.
All of my reporting is very editorial.
So, you know, in my opinion, it is a scam.
In my opinion, it is a scam. Okay, so glad that we got that clarified. Let's go to the next clip.
Willing to turn his head to, he's willing to turn a blind eye to getting a bunch of kids. And I'm sure, I don't know what your demographic is, but I know that Aiden specifically is very young.
He's talking about Aiden Ross, by the way. And this is where he goes into the second part of his argument. They're promoting gambling to kids by streaming on twitch.tv.
He's willing to turn a blind eye to hooking kids to gambling, which is extremely dangerous, damaging vice. I learned the other day from a son.
It's the worst of all, pretty much.
Exactly. They call it the deadliest vice because the most amount of people commit suicide from getting addicted to gambling. And so and then kids, on the other hand, these are undeveloped brains that are being exposed to one of the deadliest addiction. They're playing slot machines too, which is like the heroin of gambling, because it's just like click, 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 dopamine. It's so intense. They have these young, undeveloped brains. They're already getting this taste of adrenaline and addiction.
Okay, you guys know my take on anything that involves the save the kids argument right here. It's not the YouTuber or the streamer's responsibility if a kid watches them do something that is adult in nature, like gambling or drinking or whatever the case may be, and then they get addicted to that. And xQc even brings it up. It's like, okay, well, if you're against gambling, what about drinking? That's a clip that I have up next, and we'll be taking a look at that. But it's, I mean, it's true. Like, I don't care about the kids. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's like, it's not the streamer's responsibility. It's like these guys are marking their streams 18 and up, but guess what? Yeah, kids are still gonna watch it. Just because you put in your title, hey, 18 up, kids can't watch this, they're still gonna watch, but so what? So what? There's nothing you can do about that. Ethan has a child audience, xQc has a child audience, I have a child audience. Every YouTuber has a child audience. So does that mean they can't do things in their videos that they wouldn't want kids doing? No, of course not, all right? Kids have parents for a reason. If parents just parented their kids, we wouldn't be having this problem, right? If parents made sure their kids weren't getting addicted to gambling, which I don't even know if that's possible for a kid to get into. Don't they have to be like 18 to gamble anyway and to verify like ID and stuff like that? How would a kid even get into that shit? And if they're past the age of 18, they're not kids anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like, what kids are getting harmed by this anyway? I don't know. The argument just doesn't really make much sense here. Let's move on.
Right? And at that point, I just feel like it's a slippery slope.
Okay, the slippery slope argument.
I generally fear that it could be a slippery slope. Think about it.
Like what? Like what else are you concerned about being excluded from Twitch because we're concerned about the kids?
I've had the same issues in some of my other adventures, like Overwatch League, whatever. Well, like drinking alcohol, smoking, or whatever.
Right. So if you're against gambling on stream because of what that does to kids who are potentially watching, why not take that a step further? No drinking on stream or smoking.
The difference is if you want to drink on stream, you're not getting paid by the alcohol company.
Incorrect.
Hold on, I'm not done.
Friday Fireball, boys. Friday Fireball.
Okay, xQc is a little bit retarded right now, so you're gonna have to you're gonna have to bear with this.
Let's get fucked up. Come on now. Let's not do that. Come on now.
I'm not done talking.
Okay.
You don't have an affiliate code that people are going to go run into the shop and get fucking discounts on alcohol. And also in America, alcohol is extremely regulated. You cannot go into a store and buy alcohol without an ID.
Okay, come on, Ethan, dude. How can you be serious right now, all right? If a kid watches their favorite streamer drinking, all right, and they think, damn, that looks really cool. I want to get drunk. I want to get fucked up. Do you really think if they really feel that strongly, they couldn't just walk downstairs and grab dad's beer off the shelf or something like that? You know what I mean? Or at the very least, like like everyone has an older friend, you know, they can use to like get shit. Just because the age is 21 doesn't mean that it's that difficult if somebody is so motivated to get exactly what they want. And so what if they don't have an affiliate code? Does that really matter? I guess what Ethan's saying is that gambling is like the step across the line. So he draws the line at gambling. Drinking is fine on stream. He goes on to clarify that getting blackout drunk, that's wrong on stream for some reason. But at this point, it just feels like we're just drawing lines wherever it's convenient. Okay, maybe Ethan Klein genuinely feels that way. Okay, fair enough, I guess. I don't agree at all. If you're gonna put up so much of a fuss about drinking and smoking, gambling, why not throw drinking and smoking in there? You know what I mean? Like, is it really that much of a difference?
For the most part, people aren't
so you're saying there's an 18 plus barrier that you have to cross that you can, it'd be impossible.
And also, like, can children gamble? I mean, I guess some websites, like, do they just let children go on and gamble, like, under the age of 18? Is that, like, don't they verify ID? I'm actually confused on that point, so I don't know, but I'm talking out of my ass a little bit, but it's like, I don't know. Is it really reasonable for, you know, children to go on some gambling website and just spend all their lunch money or whatever, spending the slots, you know? Wouldn't their parents be there to be like, hey, I noticed you just sunk like $50 from my credit card. What's going on there? You know, like, I don't know.
Alcohol is regulated very fucking tightly by the government in all aspects.
Alcohol is not regulated that tightly, dude. I'm sorry. I mean, Ethan Klein is making it seem as if you're under the age of 21, it's next to impossible. It's extremely difficult to get alcohol.
There are laws governing all of that.
So there are laws governing all of that. Well, guess how effective those are. It's like putting up a sign. You know? Do people follow the sign? I don't know.
So you wouldn't be able to go next to a store and ask somebody to get it or a brother?
That's up to Twitch and that's up to the streamer. We're comparing that to gambling, which is unregulated and super shady. Alcohol is that's on the legal side. That's on the other party's side.
By the way, Twitch does not enforce against drinking alcohol. If you do drink alcohol and you throw up on yourself, though, they do consider that self-harm and they'll usually ban you for that. So, but they don't enforce alcohol at all. So, next clip.
And at that point, I just feel like it's a slippery slope. I genuinely fear that it could be a slippery slope. Think about it.
Like what? Like what else?
Okay, never mind. That was the same clip. Well, all right, this is where Trainwrecks comes into play. Now, Ethan beforehand said that Trainwrecks was just as bad as Aiden Ross. Okay, let's see how that lines up.
You understand? It's not me.
Train, nobody walks you for pictures, though.
Okay, suck my dick.
If Twitch was able to implement some guaranteed like 18 plus or 21 plus, then that would be a lot better. But currently they're not doing that. Then the other issue itself, though, is beyond that is that it's the websites themselves. We don't know how legit these websites are.
We'll get there right now, but I want to address the other thing. My problem is we're mixing people who are taking the sponsorship for the bag and promoting gambling while they themselves are not gambling or love gambling.
How much money do you get paid every month from them?
I get paid, I'd say, well, right now I'm down. Right now I'm...
How much do they pay you as a flat fee every month for fulfilling your contractual obligations to
I'll
them?
probably get in trouble for releasing it, but I'll tell you $1 million a month. And I'm down 2.8 million this month. So
he gets paid $1 million a month to gamble. That's the money they add, and he's down 2.8 million.
Now you can see how degenerate it is. It's bad. And I don't push my
because it's gambling. Gambling is bad, and you lose money. As a concept, that represents gambling. What he's trying to say, I think, is that what they're doing or not.
So real quick, earlier in the argument, okay? Earlier in the conversation.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I want to make one more clarification just to set the groundwork here.
Uh-huh.
Well, you also get a commission from the people that use your bonus code, right?
I get amount wagered, but I don't push the code at all, and I tell people
on your screen the whole time, right?
It is on my screen, but I tell people not to gamble at all. Every hour, I tell them to gamble. Every win, I tell them not to gamble. I tell them they will
come on.
What do you mean
performative? That's performative. You know, there's a reason they're paying you $1 million a month. You could say, "Hey, fucking don't gamble." You're gambling. They're paying you $1 million a month flat to gamble. You're getting a commission from all
This is not a bad point by Ethan here, by the way.
the people using your code. It's not. You can't just dance around it like, "Hey guys, wink, wink, don't gamble." That's just. I understand that you're not trying specifically to drive people to the code, but the
So let me break this down, all right? So what Train is saying is that Ethan's presenting this argument that what Trainwrecks is doing is he's painting like gambling as like the prettiest thing ever. It's like, oh, gambling's so cool. You go on stream, you make a bunch of money. It's awesome. What Trainwrecks is coming on here saying is basically, look, dude, yes, I do get paid $1 million a month, which is a lot of money, but I'm losing money all the time. I'm just getting shit on constantly. I stream all of my gambling, so people they see the few wins, they see all the losses, they see me struggle to even break even, which in the gambling world, breaking even is seen as like a win half the time, probably more than that. So what he's saying basically is that, look, I present an extremely realistic version of what gambling actually is. I don't promote gambling. Even though I have the referral code, I don't promote it. I don't say, hey guys, sign up, you start gambling today. If anything, according to him, he says the opposite. He says, don't gamble. Don't get into it. It will ruin your life, basically. Look at my life. I'm an addict, all right? He's just being real. Then Ethan responds with a fair point. Look, yeah, that's fine and all, but you have the referral code. You're getting paid $1 million a month, which means obviously the company values you enough. They value you so much that they're willing to pay you $1 million a month because they know you're bringing in a shitload of new people to their site. So they think that $1 million investment every month is worth it. That's actually a fair point by Ethan. But Train is saying, like, look, let's just be real here with what I'm doing. I'm not coming on stream saying that you're going to get rich quick gambling. All right. I'm saying the exact opposite. I'm demonstrating the exact opposite. Which is fair, just to contextualize things. And Ethan Klein even backs off on this point. He's like, okay, well, in fairness, what you're doing is obviously better than what Aiden Ross is doing, where Aiden Ross is gambling purely, according to Ethan, Aiden Ross is gambling purely on the money that the site's giving. Train is gambling with the money the site's giving him and his own money. So, there's that distinction there. All right, a few more clips.
look at this.
Okay, so this is when they start going back to the argument of, well, the companies are shady. So Ethan finds the alleged headquarters of one of the gambling companies that they were getting sponsors from right here.
My screen, you guys. Trainwreck. This is their headquarters, bro, on Google Maps. This is where.
Give me a second here.
No. This is important. This is where State Casino's located, you guys.
Oh my God. See.
How have we gone from the argument of kids promoting and catering to kids?
Whoa,
and now we're talking about crypto. Oh,
this is the
you got like
address
this
to
is
their
the
100%
disclaimer.
confidently that this is not a scammer business.
What?
Train.
That was a really dumb question from Hassan. Can you say confidently this is not a scam? Okay, dude. That's not how that works at all. Anything could be a scam, all right? You can never say confidently that the Target you shopped at didn't scam you technically, because even though it's like really unlikely, I mean, it could, you know what I mean? Like, that was a really dumb question from Hassan. Hassan was pretty useless this entire conversation. I don't really know why he was brought in. I think Ethan felt like he needed like some sort of backup, because in fairness, he was kind of getting 2v1'd, so he kind of brought in Hassan. Okay, let's stabilize the playing field a little bit. Okay, fair enough. But I will just say Hassan, kind of useless. But the point here that Ethan's bringing up, look at their headquarters. It's a shit shack in the middle of nowhere. Therefore, it's probably a scam. Yeah, it looks bad, but that's not proof of anything. It's funny, don't get me wrong. This was a good get by Ethan. I actually liked this. This was a good one. But it doesn't prove anything. It's just kind of funny that like, oh, well, look, this is where they're based out of. It's a shit shack. So, I don't know. Although honestly, looking at it a second time, it doesn't look like that bad of a place. Maybe I'm just coping. I don't know. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look like a complete like fucking crack shack, but like, I don't know. Whatever. So they debate about that for a while. The debate very quickly. By the way, this debate was 2 hours long, but it was very circular and all over the place and very repeating. They repeated their points constantly. So I thought it was interesting, but it's like it lasted way too long than it should have. Probably it should have been like an hour-long conversation, not like 2.5. All right, last few clips.
Lumping everybody in. The problem now that
please,
we're
let's
having.
put the shed
The
aside.
problem that we're having.
Put the shed aside, and I just have one question for Train. Did you used to say on your streams that I wouldn't do this if I was a big streamer?
I probably have. Yes, I've said a lot of things on my streams, and I've grown up, evolved, and changed. Have you not done that?
So Ethan finds an old clip where Train was like, before when he was like a smaller streamer, he said, I would never do gambling streams. I would never take a sponsorship for that. Obviously, it looks bad now because that's exactly what he's doing. In my opinion, though, it's kind of a weak gotcha, because it's like, yeah, we all say shit. Everyone acts like they're going to be the biggest, like, the best, you know, goody two shoes person. Like when I was like at 2,000 subs or something, I remember saying stuff like, I would never block somebody on Twitter, or I would never ban somebody from my chat. That's pussy shit. Yeah, I very quickly dropped that because fuck that shit. So, I mean, we all say we're gonna never do stuff, and like a lot of YouTubers, like when they're very early on, like Turkey Tom had this thing. Turkey Tom was like, I'm never gonna take a sponsor. In fact, he did a whole video shitting on sponsors, and then a month later he took a sponsor. All right, it looks funny. It kind of looks, I guess, bad, but we all say things that we're quote unquote never gonna do, and then we end up doing it. Circumstances change. I guess, yeah, it does look bad in fairness, but you know, it's Ethan Klein making the point as if he doesn't have 5,000 clips of him saying he would never do certain stuff, and then he does that. It's whataboutism that I'm doing right now, but it's like, I don't know, whatever. He got him, I guess. Just thought I'd show that one. Final clip here.
Are we still talking about?
I'll admit this. I need to look into what casinos these Twitch players are playing on. I was under the assumption that the websites people are playing on, especially like Aiden, and I don't know what website you play on, Trainwreck.
I play on Stake.
Okay,
just
so
you can do research. Yeah,
I'll have to look into like where these are regulated, what software they use. It could be possible that you're playing on a totally legit one, and that's great. That's much better. But I have a feeling the one that Aiden Ross is playing on, I need to do research. But I've seen the way that they communicate, and if Ethan does that research and he finds out that these places are a scam, okay, brilliant, great. That's actually really good work, especially with the whole Save the Kids stuff going on. It seems like everybody is going after crypto and gambling, and so far it seems like for the most part, these investigations have been successful and fruitful. Mudahar's been doing a bunch of videos on that. In fact, yesterday, Mudahar uploaded a video on these Twitch streaming gambling sites that I still need to take a look at. So if Ethan does the research, you know what? Props to him. I hate Ethan, all right?
But props to him, I guess. Good work is still good work. Overall, I thought the debate was really interesting. It was really interesting to see a bunch of like moral questions get discussed. Deep down, I mean, you guys know where I stand. I don't give a fuck about gambling streams. I don't give a fuck if a YouTuber or a streamer goes on the air and gambles or drinks or smokes or does really anything. I don't care. And I don't care about the whole... the Save the Kids argument is something I'm so tired of. This is one final thing, by the way, that I wanted to show before we end it off. This is a little bit of a gotcha, but it's worth showing, I guess.
All fucking roads lead to the ocean, right? Like, come on, dude. I mean, like, you're doing it one way, he's doing another way. Yours is a little better, but ultimately, all fucking rivers lead to the ocean, dude.
Oh, what's next, Ethan? I opened 10 loot boxes. I'm going to jail. What the fuck?
No.
If you want to
you're literally just doing strongman.
Then you have to fuck out everything. Counter-Strike.
It's all bad. Guess what? Surprise, it's all bad.
Counter-Strike, it's all bad.
If you love sports, then there is no better way to make it more fun and exciting than Draftkings, the leader in one-day fantasy sports. To add to this week's excitement in sports, Draftkings has millions of dollars in total prizes up for grabs. And if you have not tried Draftkings yet, head to the App Store now, because you don't want to miss this. This is how it works, okay? It's simple. You pick your lineup, you stay under the salary cap, you see how your team stacks up against the competition. Nothing adds to the excitement of watching the game quite like having a shot at millions of dollars in prizes. DraftKings has paid out billions of dollars to winners since 2012, so they know a thing or two about cold, hard cash. And it seems like even more fun than the actual game. I feel like people just watch sports so they can do their fantasy teams now.
It's true. I've got several friends who do that.
Do you do fantasy?
I don't myself, but I have a bunch of buddies.
Yeah, Draftkings, which is, from my understanding, basically fantasy football with real money involved. I mean, is this not gambling? I mean, we debated this last night on stream and in chat, and pretty much everybody was in an agreement that it's very similar, if not, the same principle. I don't know. I'm not going to drive too hard on this point yet, but it's something worth bringing up, I suppose. Kind of interesting, And that clip, by the way, if you're wondering how old that was from September of last year. So about like 10 months ago. So interesting. But anyway, to conclude, I thought the debate was very interesting. I thought xQc did an okay job. All right job. Trainwrecks, I thought, was much better. He was much more effective. Hassan was useless. And Ethan brought up some good points. I'll give him that. But he got very slippery in that conversation with some of his points. I don't agree with the Save the Kids argument at all. And I think he needed to do a little bit more of his homework before he was able to confidently say whether or not something was a scam or not. And definitely he needed to do more homework before he started condemning YouTubers and streamers over it. Because he's like, you guys have done something wrong. You need to stop this. Okay, slow down, buddy. We don't know if it looks bad, but we don't know, all right? Just because it's unregulated doesn't mean it's inherently a scam. Just because they use crypto doesn't mean inherently it's a scam. Just because they operate under a crack shack doesn't mean that it's inherently a scam. All three of these factors make it look bad, okay? I agree with that. And even I think that given more research, we'll probably end up finding that at least one of these websites, if not a bunch of them, were probably scams, okay? But I'm not going to condemn somebody yet for something that I think they did. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that yet. You got to chill. Or at the very least, just say, I think you guys have fucked up and you should probably chill. He could have said something like that, but he was like, no, I know you guys did something. You need to take accountability. And that's where he shot himself in the foot, at least in my opinion. So anyway, all that to say, that's my thoughts on this debate. Very messy debate, but a very fun one, very interesting one. And I'm sure the fallout from it is going to be very interesting to take a look at. My name is AugieRFC. You can follow me on Twitter at AugieRFC. And I'll catch you guys later, everybody. Peace out.